Hey, buddy.
There we go. Yeah, I'm dancing in my seat over here, man. That was
You heard
the
it?
perfect intro. Yeah, I heard it, loved it.
There it is. I
I
was
don't hear the
like,
music anymore, though. I don't hear
oh,
it
it
anymore,
probably it
but
probably cut it off. Oh
it might still be
man.
on. I just had to mute the stream.
No,
But
it's okay.
that was I wouldn't want it any other way. I loved it. Thank you.
I figured you love that. So, Rob, I'm excited to have you on here. Everybody, this is Immortal Spawn, at Immortal Spawn, my teammate, friend, business partner, lover at one time, but now he's engaged to Nicole, his
Yeah.
fiance. Congratulations to them, for everyone that hasn't
Thanks.
seen it yet on Twitter. I'm happy for the two of them, both good friends of mine. He is also the creator of Strat. We are going to be talking about that tonight. Rob, I know you're excited about it. I was excited for you. I had no idea when you were dropping this. I know you hinted at it, which was
Right.
awesome. But I'm glad you did it the way you did it. And going into it tonight, I want you to introduce yourself. I know most people in here already know you, but for the video later on down the road and for some family and friends of mine that are watching the show, introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Rob, Immortal Spawn. I've been competing in Gears since the very beginning on the Game Battles ladders when it first started, and started with MLG. And Gabe and I started teaming together, as he mentioned, at the start. Actually, we played together at the end of Gears 1 and played together as Raw Talent at the start of Gears 2. And, it's been great. It's actually my first time on the show, so I'm really excited to be here. It's been a long time that I've been wanting to getting on, and this was a perfect opportunity to finally join you. So hopefully, definitely won't be the last. I'm real excited about that. So, but yeah, we competed together, Gabe and I, in the last season of Gears, and we're excited about where Gears is going and the future of it. And yeah, it's all good there. So.
Of course. Awesome. A little intro of Rob. Rob and I could talk for days with you
Yeah.
guys about our relationship and about gaming careers and so forth. But Rob, we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of the show tonight. I know you just recently announced Strat, which I've been pushing since the beginning of this episode. An gaming app that Rob just dropped in designing and so forth. It is on iOS as well as Android. He's going to be talking about this tonight. If you guys have any questions in the stream, make sure you put it in the chat. I'll try to get out as much as possible to Rob. But Rob, how did the launch go? How was it up to your expectation? Give me a little bit about that.
Sure. The launch has been incredible. So the app went live yesterday morning. The response has been fantastic. It really proved to me that there's a desire for a tool like this. And, Strat has been my baby for a long time. For those, as Gabe, you mentioned, you didn't even know about it. My teammates knew I was working on something in esports, but that was the extent of it. So since the launch, the feedback and the suggestions, all positive. But overall, I'm very happy to have crossed that mark where I can focus on what's next for the app.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it came to a complete surprise to myself. And, we obviously have always talked to each other about most things, but you always have a way of doing the things the right way. And like I said, I'm happy that you kept it that way, just because, it's a little bit more special to you and more special to somebody like me who's like, wow, this guy was not working on something simple. You were working on something that was huge, something with extreme potential to it, which is pretty sweet.
I really wanted that. I really wanted you to be surprised. I wanted everybody to sort of have that, that exposure to it when it went live for the first time. And I didn't mention at the beginning. I'll just clarify. Strat is it's an esports drawing app, and it's a tool used for competitive gamers to draw strategies on the fly, pull up an overhead view of a map, visualize their positioning on the battlefield. And build teamwork and improve your game. So that's the app. That's the goal overall, is to make people better.
Awesome. Yeah, that's something that I know you've been doing for so many years. I mean, you are literally the originator to that. I don't care what anybody says. You've been doing this since 2008, and that's only when I met you. You've been playing since God knows how long. And you're a young guy too, which is even crazier to think about that you've been doing it for so long at such a young age. And now you've been able to bring it to the tech world, which is, awesome. You went from paper like you used to do. Hey, Gabe, you're going to go here on this piece of paper. This is you, a dot. And you drew me this way. And I'm like, got it, Dad. We got it. We're going to do this.
Right.
And now you got it on an app, which I think is awesome. The fact that you're able to put it on an iPad, I think is sweet. So one thing I wanted to ask you, because obviously I'm sure that's a question that a lot of people are going to ask, the $1 million question. How did you settle on the name Strat?
That's a great question. It really was like a shower thought. It was one of those aha moments that you have. Like prior to settling on that name, I think I was referring to it as like Strat board or something general like that. And, I really started thinking about, what is this I'm building? Like, how do I encompass the tool, into a single name? And, my teammates and I have been using Strat for several years now. And, what is it that we were doing? And at some point it just clicked to me, you have your base strats, but it's really important to, it's really important when you run the trick strat, that it's designed and it's executed correctly. And that was my aha moment. It was, I think I ran to my fiance at the time, and I remember just going up to her and being like, "Babe, trick strat. That's it. That's the name of the app. It's gonna be trick strat." Like it was just that, it just felt right at the time, and she's been incredibly supportive of me throughout all of the development. Nicole's often, studying away at her med school rotations, and Trickshot's really been the game that I've been grinding on. It's been this project that, I just been working hard on, and there's definitely been some moments where I'm banging my head against the wall, as any of you developers know. But she's kept me focused and really believed in the idea. So yeah, the term trick strat, really stems from my Gears experience, ultimately. And I'm not even positive if the term is, has the same meaning in other esports, but it definitely has a lot of meaning to us. So.
No, of course. Yeah, trick strat is, like you said, is not something you probably hear about in other esports games, but you never know. Obviously, we haven't played that much. I know we do a fair share of gaming on Call of Duty, Halo, PC games. Right. Pretty much every PC game you've played, I've ended up playing, because I'm like, if you have it, I gotta have it. But you know what? It's a name. It's catchy. So the minute you start throwing maps in there and different game types, and we do have a question for you, Rob. I'm going to put that later, but we have a couple of questions in the chat already, which is awesome. But that is kind of along the lines of one of the questions that we have for you. But
sure.
Now that Trickstrat has been launched, I'm sure you was waiting. You've been putting a lot of time, a lot of sweat, a lot of effort into it. How are you feeling now that it's live?
Okay. I'm just really incredibly relieved that it's out there now. That has to be the main thing. It was probably one of the most nerve-wracking things. I recall just driving on the highway over the last couple months, and God forbid something was going to happen to me, and I'm just thinking no one is going to know what I built. I've worked so hard on this thing, and no one will ever know about it. So now that feeling is gone, I feel really good and relieved, and I'm generally excited for what's next.
Yeah, I know that, like you said, that was a big relief that you had. You launched it. I know you said you didn't get many bugs, many crash. You've been doing really well with it, which is always good to hear. I know we talked about that a little bit yesterday, and that's great. Obviously, the fact that you were able to launch such an awesome project with so much time and effort that you put into it with zero, mistakes or any problems on the first day is, unbelievable, and you don't really see it often. Anytime you see something in the tech world, and more than me, launches, there's always seems to be an issue or something seems to crash. But with all the amount of traffic that you've been getting and the users that have been signing on, I know the numbers that you've been telling me have been insane, which is awesome. And if you wanted to touch on that as well, anything?
Yeah, well, in terms of I was prepared for the worst, and the worst didn't happen yesterday. What's the worst case scenario you can think of, right? You launch something, and a bunch of people are like, I can't get in, or this isn't working, or that isn't working. So I was prepared for that, because you have to be, and I was ready to put out any fires. But thankfully, there wasn't anything of that magnitude. I was very relieved about that, and I'm happy that people were able to get in there and start using it, and really start flooding me with suggestions and feedback, and it's been really exciting. So I again thank everybody for embracing it so much, and I really want to bring everything that everybody wants to the tool. Like, that's my goal. So.
Absolutely, and I know that's a question I'll have for you in a little bit in regards to gaming and whatnot. But from Trickstrat, I know we have a lot of questions into it, but what do you hope the general community or people in general will get out of using your app called Trickstrat?
Yeah, so it really stems like the biggest reason why I wanted to build this tool. So the reason I wanted to build it is because we've proven that it improves teamwork. Like, we've been using it, and for a while, whatever form we were using the tool, it's improved teamwork, and as a competitor, I know that. So there hasn't been an accessible way for esports competitors to get in there, to have access. So that was the goal. But like, growing up for myself, I competed in soccer and basketball leagues, and those activities were all about building teamwork. We had a lot of team building methods, but there was always a clipboard involved. There was always a clipboard at the beginning of the game or at halftime where my coach was showing me what to do. I'm like, little 3-4 foot tall, and we're all like taking knees and sitting around, and we were always building that teamwork. So reviewing plays, positions, so when I entered competitive gaming, I naturally wanted that. I grew up with that experience. I wanted the huddle, right? I demanded the huddle from you guys. I wanted all the elements of that. Being on a team makes you feel good. It makes you feel, like you're part of something. It brings you together. It makes you want to win together. So, having a tool like this, we actually used a prototype of this at Winter Brawl 9. I have a link that if we could pull up, I'll send you of us from Winter Brawl 9. It's super funny. So, but yeah, so basically, like, having the tool and being able to review plays with the team. So you can talk. It's really like another form of communication when you think about it. Yeah, we can talk on the mic about a 2v1 situation, right? Or we can talk on the mic about how I want you to flank the next guy. But when you see the image, when you visualize it, that's a different level. Like, maybe the words don't do it, but the image before the match, or the image in between the next game, that might stick. And now that in its simplest form is in your head, and you won't mess it up next time. So the biggest thing that I want people to get out of the tool is building teamwork, bonding, improving their game. And I hope people get creative and come up with some strats during the day, and integrate them into their scrims at night. It's a tool that I've been using, and I'm happy that the platform is there for others to do the same thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a little bit of what you've been doing for so long, and now people are going to be able to do that themselves. And like I mentioned earlier, because we had a coach on here from one of the newest teams, I think that's a coach's thing. A coach should be able to download this app and do what you did. You brought that huge iPad Pro that was like this big and was like, guys, this is the map. And you put the weapons down, you drew them, and it was like a football. It was like a what do you call that? Like you just said, a little chalkboard there. You're erasing everything and writing it there. I think it's a pretty neat idea, and if people actually see it in use at events, it's going to be even bigger. I think in Mexico it's going to be a huge hit. I mean, I'm sure they got word of it. I'm sure it eventually hit the Latin American scene sooner than later. But I think it's going to blow up. It's only going to go up from here.
All right, just play it through for everybody, because we were actually like using a prototype of Trickstrat during this event, and I thought it'd be funny to just catch up on it. For a lot of people probably haven't seen this before, and they'll recognize some faces.
Boyd, this is awesome. Woo! There he is. He had the poster board. Oh, there's Little Mint. Raw talent, baby. Woo! I love it. I like this. Sub-Zero. Chubbs. For everyone that doesn't know, this is Chubbs. PR, coach of Ghost Gaming now. It's great to see all these faces that completely either left the game, coaching, on a pro team. Oh, I don't think I remember these guys. He shot Taibu. Oh no. Noxious. Strang. Yogurt, obviously. Jake Nasty. They need to bring these back.
I know, aren't they great?
These are great.
Kind of had the hero shots that we did, yeah. These are just like quick snippets, though.
Brian's great. Fran with the dancing, I love it. For everybody in here watching, this is a video, or you could say the prototype for Immortal Spawn and Trick Strat. If you guys didn't see it, he was writing on his board. He actually drew out Checkout, one of the maps in the game. Put his lines, put his X's for maps and locations.
We used the iPad that whole event.
Absolutely, which that's something that so you understand this is something that's been in the making for a long time now. Yeah. But now it's actually surfaced, obviously. So we're gonna finish out this video. This is something like a hero shot, like Immortal said that they do now. Season 1 they did this, season 2 obviously they're gonna continue. But this was a pretty cool video in regards to that. Funny. But yeah, no, I appreciate that video. We're gonna cut that off so we can see. All right, now we're back. But yeah, if you guys saw it, like I said, Immortal was on there drawing on his huge board. He did actually draw that out right then and there in person, right. Which I thought was pretty cool. We actually had to wait for you to get done, which was hilarious. But yeah, pretty neat idea. And like I said, you've been working on this for a while now. I mean, just look at that. Now, Rob, I know you said you had something for us, or had something that you wanted to talk about or bring up.
I just thought, it'd be a good opportunity to do a little lesson. It's been a long time since I was able to do a video like that. So if you guys are ready, we can segue into a little bit of a Professor Immortal time.
Yeah, I like it. Let me give you the floor.
So we're actually going to hop into Dam, and the topic that I want to talk about is sort of just the metagame itself, like at a tournament. And the reason I want to do that is because that was one of the big benefits of having Trick Strat at a LAN where you're in a huddle and you're able to talk. Gabe can talk about this as well, and he can echo that we've done a lot of thinking ahead when we plan our strategies and we plan a tournament. When we're going into our next game, we're not just thinking about the next round. We're thinking several rounds ahead. And that's what I hope some people can take away from this lesson today is you need to think rounds ahead. And a lot of teams sleep on that. A lot of teams don't practice this enough. I know that just competing against different teams. What you want to do is you actually want to teach your opponent, you want to repeat things and make your opponent expect you to do something, but actually do something else. Thinking rounds ahead allows you to throw in a trick strat or throw in something unconventional and take advantage of what you already taught your opponent to do. So, an example of that would be like in chess, you always think moves ahead in chess because you have to in order to succeed at that. Or in football, you run on first down, but you take a shot on second down, or you milk the clock. These are all strategic elements because you're planning out your next move. So in Gears, it's the same thing. You would start the game and you sort of want your opponent to get used to something. So one example I have is Dam. So on the map Dam, most of the attention is going to be up at the top where you want to get map control, and most players are going to head up there. They want to go and they want to bang out at B. But there's also this fight that occurs at the platform. And the platform is this often 1v1 type fight. You have one player that usually goes to the platform. I know there might be a little bit of a glare on this setup today, but there's Cosmo just running by my lesson, if you noticed him. So there's this 1v1 fight that happens at platform. So that's what we're going to focus on. At the start of the game, you talk to your team and you say, you know, round one, we're going to do this. We're going to do this base strat. We're going to send most of our players to B, but we're going to have this 1v1 over at the platform, right? Round two, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to send most of our players over to B. We're going to focus on that fight, but it's round three that you can think ahead and already plan for before you start the game. And round three is where you actually have a player sneak all the way around, super secret, dark secret, all the way around, where that player going to plat is not expecting this at all. Yeah, he might be looking for it, but you already taught him that this is a 1v1 fight. And you get your teammate to hug the wall all the way to the edge. And he's able to hug this wall all the way to the edge and come around the opposition, the guy right here. Because you don't want to engage on him right away. If you engage on him right away, you may have missed the opportunity to get that kill. The whole purpose of doing something like this, you know, teaching your opponent this normal strat that you're doing and then throw them off with something like this, is to guarantee that kill. Guaranteeing that kill can open up the whole round. It can guarantee you the win of that round. So you wait until this player gets behind him, where this player is waiting, not engaging in a 1v1, sitting there, able to contain him. And as soon as you have him in that 2v1 situation, you're able to pinch and secure the kill. So the whole purpose of this, again, is to think rounds ahead. And we can talk about it a little bit more, but I know for the last tournament, you know, I remember us playing on Forge, and we would, you know, round one, we're doing this, round two, we're doing this, round three, we're doing this. And if you do that before the game, and everybody knows what's going on and where they're supposed to be, and when you mix up the strats, base strat, trick strat, you know, the other base, whatever it may be, it allows you to focus on the little things in between those rounds that you need to clean up, and you don't have to waste that airtime in between the rounds where you may have to, you know, talk about what are we doing, what's the next strat, what are we going to do for the next strat. So, you know, the takeaway again is plan out your strats ahead of time if you can. You know, escalation is an interesting game where it's like you got to do like maybe 3 or 4, maybe you can plan out the first 3 or 4 strats. But being able to do that will allow your whole team to be ready, and it'll allow you to execute something like this, where you've done this base and everybody's sort of gotten used to it, and then you're able to throw in something completely different where you catch that player off guard because he was used to something already. So yeah, think about gears, and when you're competing in these longer round-based matches, and think ahead and plan out your strategy a little bit. So that definitely goes a long way. Thank you guys. Coming back to my couch.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Again, not something I expected for you to do. It is an Immortal Spawn thing of you to do. That's just what you do. I mean, you like to teach. You're probably going to be a teacher eventually. I could see that in the near future. But yeah, no, that was awesome. That was a live demonstration, guys, from Rob, pretty much showing you guys the ins and outs of Trick Strat. Pretty neat. Not gonna lie, I did not know this ahead of time. This was a last minute thing he just did right now and brought it up. But that was pretty cool. I mean, the fact that you broke it down a little bit and you had a live demonstration, that is pretty neat, and I'm sure people enjoyed it. But yeah, I know Green Eggs and Sam was happy. He said, "Coach Rob, love it." So yeah, maybe we could see that in the near future. Rob, did you ever think you would coach, or you're taking the back seat for a while?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways I would love to be involved. I've never ruled out coaching. If the right opportunity came along, I would entertain it. So that's sort of my answer on the whole coaching topic.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course, you'd be prepared because, I mean, you already have your own app. So you'd be like, yeah, guys, I could coach. Hold on, let me pull up my own app. Boom, right there, ready to go. We have the guns, we have the strategies, guys. Don't worry, we got this, baby. But yeah, no, I think that would be pretty neat. In regards to anything else, Rob, was there anything else you wanted to talk about in general? Any ideas, any topics, questions, concerns? Now's the time for that.
Oh, it's been a pleasure coming on to the show. For those who haven't checked out TrickStrat yet, you can visit the web app trickstrat.com. It's in Android and iOS marketplaces. Please send me your feedback. Send me any suggestions, any issues, whatever. I'm open ears, and just, my goal through all of this is to bring a tool that didn't exist for everybody. There have been tools along the way. There have been a lot of ideas around this along the way. Kickstarter projects here or there, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, what I want is, I just want competitors to, have a platform to get better. And however that happens, I'm excited for the future. I hope more people get involved in this. I hope there's more options, and I hope game devs see that this is very useful. It'd be awesome to see them integrate something like this. I've been waiting forever for something like when you're starting up your Gears match, and on screen I can show you with my controller where everybody's going. So there's a lot of cool things. There's a lot of benefit to tools like this, and I hope more tools pop up. I hope more companies get involved and see the benefit of the helping the esports community out. So we've already seen a big shift in game development companies with esports in general. So maybe this is another spoil to that in the future. So yeah, I'm excited overall, and your show's been great. I've been love watching your show, and I'm happy to be here, and I hope you bring me back.
Of course. Yeah, no, I loved having you on the show. I know you had a lot to explain to everybody in the stream. Like you said, this is a tool that I could definitely see in esports. After the show, obviously, I always upload it. I am going to talk to Chris, though, in regards to YouTube and, like the backdoor things you could do in regards to it. But, of course, the whole goal to this episode was to help you kick off your TrickStrat app and your Twitter. Again, everybody that was in the stream and people that are watching this recorded afterwards, make sure you guys follow TrickStrat, follow Immortal Spawn. He's the creator. He's the original professor of Gears of War. The guy's been doing it. I'll probably like 2002. I'm just gonna something crazy. I'll throw it out there. The guy's been doing it forever. He's been doing it on paper. He's been doing on little post-it notes. Hey guys, all right, I have the little map here, but we're gonna make it work. So he's done it all. I appreciate him coming on the show. We are gonna have him, I'm sure, once again. Rob is gonna be one of our big sponsors for the show, Gears of War GoWRosterMania. Like I said, with the new overlay, we're going to be bringing on new sponsors and new partnerships, hopefully. We did have certain people watching the episode tonight, and I appreciate them being here through the whole episode, looking through the chat the whole time. I'm glad you guys are watching. I'm glad we were able to entertain you, hopefully, and I appreciate you guys for all watching. Rob, once again, thank you. I'll have you on here, of course, soon enough, once again. And if there's anything else to say, now's the time. Your proper send-off.
Thank you again. You can follow me at Immortal Spawn, and make sure to follow the show, and tune in next week. I'm excited for who's going to be on. So thanks, Gabe.
Definitely. All right, Rob. Well, it was always good chatting with you. I'm sure we'll catch up soon enough. Thank you, and have a good night, brother.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Later.